Okay, I want to say welcome again, welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be eating some McDonald's food, okay? McDonald's while I'm talking to you. Now, some people will turn around and say, hey man, that's not very healthy. I hear you, but listen man, I don't eat the most, amazing, best diet, but I don't eat it every day, you know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day, you can eat a bit of everything and you'd still end up killing yourself. No, I mean basically, you can nobody can eat the most perfect diet anyway. I mean, you can try, but that's just me, right? I eat what I want to eat. I'm not trying to be Mr. Perfect anyway. I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, and I don't drink alcohol, and I don't eat junk food every day either. But sometimes it's nice to have some McDonald's, man. You might believe it's made of some chopped up wangs or whatever, but I'm just saying. Please excuse me while I go to get some tissue, okay? Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be back in a moment. You're going to have to bear with me for a second, guys. I'm coming and just get some tissue here. Oh, this is going to be great, man. I'm so hungry. You know what it's like if you've been working all day or whatever, been out, out all day. You know that sometimes you need to get your meal. I'm loving it, homeboy. So basically, let's do this. Okay, so in this video, no joking around, serious to the point. I want to talk to you about my kickboxing background. Okay. So basically, excuse me, kickboxing was the second martial art that I actually studied. And like karate being my first, kickboxing I learned for 3 years also, roughly 3 years. Okay. And it was some of the hardest training I ever did. I think I started learning kickboxing around the age of, I don't know, 16, 17 or whatever it was, but I learned for 3 years. This is good, man. Some spicy chicken burger. As a good friend of mine, Jason Stork, that's Mountainous on YouTube, would say, we're doing it big. Oh, we love our food, man. But let's get back to it. Yeah, so kickboxing was hardcore training. When I was learning my kickboxing, they had various instructors in there. Very popular school. They were making money in that place. The good thing about the place was, yeah, okay, it was like this modern, fancy building inside, air conditioner, all the rest of it, music, mirrors, decked out with all the equipment you can imagine. 2 big rooms in there. 1 main room and then another one. This is so good. But, oh my God, this is so good, man. But the truth is, the training was hardcore, and I could train every day, or 6 days. It was closed on Sundays, I think. Now, oh, this is heaven. But my main teacher was Fred Elson. His name was Fred Elson. And he was old at the time. If you've ever seen Karate Kid, you'll know what I'm talking about. He was like my Mr. Miyagi, basically. He was like my true mentor, or the one I could connect with in that place. Because the other instructors were like younger guys. They were tough. There's people getting bloody noses and punched around in there, kicked around. But Fred Elson was not only a good kickboxer, Fred Elson was something else. When I joined the kickboxing school, I didn't join because it was kickboxing. I didn't join because I didn't want to learn boxing or kickboxing even. I found that, like, Western stuff. I was very into like the Eastern martial arts. I wanted to learn about kung fu, karate, anything like that. Uh, um, you know, at that age, I was actually growing up watching a lot of martial arts themed movies. I was a massive fan of all of that. Jackie Chan, Jet Li, Van Damme, all of it. Bruce Lee as well, yeah, but not my favourite. But and I wanted to learn martial arts, like Eastern martial arts. I loved the philosophy. I loved everything about the philosophy, how it helps you as a person, with its way, or the ways of the Eastern martial arts, in particular philosophy, and also the fact that a person who's not big and tough, muscle man, you can still learn these skills to use the opponent's energy and attacks against themselves. And a smaller person can win against a stronger, bigger opponent. I thought that was fantastic. Nowadays they say that's BS, man. Nowadays they just train MMA and stuff, and they just say, I mean, MMA is good, I know, but they turn around and say MMA, is the one, and all that traditional stuff is BS, bullshit. People were gullible back in the day. There were people conning people, and there are people who are not true to the ancient true way of the martial arts. So you see a lot of bullshit and fake stuff nowadays, and they get their asses trashed by these modern day real fighters, MMA as they call it. But the true ancient ways of kung fu and karate were killing arts. Real deal. It's not fancy stuff for show. Anyway, here's the funny thing. When I was doing karate, okay. When I was doing karate, sorry, my mistake. I made a mistake. What I was saying, I meant to say when I joined the kickboxing school, I joined not for the fact that it said kickboxing. It was a kickboxing school, but on the window at the top, there was writing saying "and kung fu." In fact, they did a lot of different things, self-defense courses, even like yoga classes too. But anyway, it was hard training, hard sparring and everything. And I ended up doing the kickboxing as well. But the reason I joined is because of the kung fu. Now, at that time, I'd heard that there were different styles of kung fu. It was very hard to find a kung fu school nearby or anywhere that I could find, that I could go to. That wasn't too far from home, or like, let's say, that I could go to around my schedule, like busy schedule, because I was working at the time, too. And food, and basically what happened was, as I say, is I love McDonald's, bro. No. But basically what happened was, as I say, is oh man, come on, let's do it big. Basically, I started learning this this kung fu in there with Fred Elson, the guy, my legendary kickboxing teacher, who was expert. He was so good at these kung fu arts. Now, staying there for 3 years studying this kung fu and the kickboxing, I'd learned so much traditional martial arts. But what I found was, to me, it seemed to be more like a combination of karate and various other martial arts. Now, me and one of my classmates, asked Fred Elson at the time, Fred, what kind of kung fu are we learning? To which he kind of thought about it for a minute, and he said, "Well, I guess you'd call it JKD." He said, made a lot of sense. Similar kind of stuff going on, but it seemed to me that he just put that out there as an right answer. I put him on the spot, I think, by accident. Because truly, I think it was just basically their own syllabus of Kung Fu that they put together, and they didn't think people would ask so much about it. However, whatever it wasn't bullshido at all. It was real martial arts, very good training. People were learning katas. It was like karate, it was like kempo, it was like a mixture of different things. Taekwondo, it seemed to be such a mixed kind of art. A lot of karate essence in there. All I can say is my time learning in that school, I learned so much martial arts. And of course kickboxing. I even won an award through my effort of putting in training, because I used to go in there even when there were no classes. I paid for the full, membership, and I'd train at the school, the dojo we call it. I would train anytime, even when there were nobody there. And sometimes he'd come in and he'd be like surprised to see me there, because I'm such a quiet kind of kid. I wasn't the toughest, Well, yeah. And in my last year of learning kickboxing, it was such a nice experience. But in my last year, I started to learn, I think it was my last year, I started to learn 5 animal kung fu with my first ever Chinese teacher too, which also lasted for 3 years. And I'll talk to you about that in my next video. Thanks for watching. I love Mackie D's, man.